Hey everyone, it's that time of year again when we're all scrambling to find the perfect holiday gifts for our loved ones. And if you've got a tech-savvy nerd like me in your life, that shopping task becomes even more challenging, since we tend to just buy what we want when we want it, leaving others guessing what else to get us besides the usual Amazon gift cards and yet another flash drive. Although I do like the flash drives. My wife Sydney actually had to institute a rule that I don't buy anything for myself for months in advance of my birthday and Christmas, so that I don't go and accidentally buy something myself that was planned as a gift. And honestly, that was the right call on her part. So to help you find a gift for that hard-to-buy-for tech nerd in your life, I've put together this list with various budget categories, but I couldn't do this myself, and I've enlisted my dog Winston's help this time around to, showcase some product and show us how it's done. And whether you're shopping for a teenager or someone who's still a kid at heart like me, this list has something for everyone. Also note that the ballpark price categories are estimates at this time and might vary when you go and shop online or at your local store. But with that out of the way, let's dive right in. First is our under $50 category, which can be especially great for stocking stuffers or white elephants. First up is the new controller that Anbernic just came out with. It is shockingly inexpensive for something that does pretty much everything that the fancy 8-bit Do controllers can, where they can connect to Switch and PC and Android and iPhone. They are quite useful for a very low price point, and it's just a solid controller. Next up is the Powkitty V10, which is perfect for handheld gaming enthusiasts who love a bit of nostalgia. I've personally enjoyed playing this handheld quite a bit, and it actually can play up to Nintendo 64 games if you put the ROMs on there, which is very impressive given how light and almost McDonald's toyish the handheld feels. But it also just is very enjoyable to hold because it is so compact and small and can be thrown into any bag, while also just giving you a fun nostalgic Game Boy feel. I would also strongly recommend the Super Nintendo color scheme because, at least for me, it brings a lot of joy. Next up is desk pads. You will know what kind of desk pad design is more suited for your person, but they tend to only cost, 10 to 20 bucks. They're also just fun to cycle out every few months, so even if they already have one, you're probably safe to get them another one they can cycle out and maybe replace one that's experienced some wear as well. Next up is nerdy t-shirts, which everyone loves, and they're pretty hard to go wrong with. And I'm especially fond of the ones on Coulter.store, which you can get for 10% off with code Black Friday. Obviously, it's a meme that I'm hyping my own store, but on my actual wishlist I sent to my family, I put shirts from my own store because I'm too cheap to buy all of my own merch, but I really like a lot of designs I created on there, so yeah, I recommend Coulter.store t-shirts. Use code Black Friday. Enjoy. Up next is Funko Pops. Again, up to the interests of the person you're buying for, but they are always a pretty reliable choice for collectors, but especially if the person you're buying for already has a Funko Pop collection, or they just really love a certain IP and they want a cute little guy on their desk to commemorate that, like me, who currently has Ted Lasso and Jimmy Neutron staring at them right now. They're pretty fun to have around. For those who like to keep their spaces tidy, or especially if they are computer builders, PC builders, always buying compressed air, this little mini vacuum and compressed air generator is super slick and super handy to have around. You can have it in the car for vacuuming out those little crevices that always get crumbs in them, or blowing out computers when you're restoring them. Super nice. Another solid choice is Gubby smart bulbs. Not very long ago, smart bulbs were very pricey, but they've come way down in price, and I like the Gubby brand a lot. They just seem to have a lot of options while still being pretty solid quality. And we have one of these Gubby smart bulbs in our room, actually, that we then have do a sort of sunrise effect because we get up before the sun, and it helps to really, get the circadian rhythm kicked into gear, so it's a lot easier to wake up in the morning before work. Last up in this category is gift cards, and not just any gift card, not just Amazon, even though Amazon is lovely, but if they are a gamer at all, then a Steam gift card, Xbox, PlayStation, or Nintendo card would probably be received with a lot of joy. Just make sure you choose the one for the game console they actually have and use. Now over to our under $100 category, and first up is the beloved Anbernic RG35XXSP, which is just a fantastic clamshell handheld harkening back to the Game Boy Advance SP, and it can play games ranging from arcade titles all the way to the Nintendo 64, PS1, and Dreamcast. I personally love mine a ton, and I've done way too many videos about it, with even more coming, so yeah, I can recommend that console very confidently. And related to that, there have been a ton of solid retro handhelds that have come out in the last year, a lot of them from Anbernic, some from other companies. For example, if they don't like the SP's kind of tighter handheld format, the RG Cube XX is a really cute square form factor one that's a little more Switch style, but still very compact with joysticks and RGB and all that, so maybe a handheld like that is more their speed. Next up on the list is used consoles, and in particular, consoles with strong soft modding scenes like the Wii, Wii U, PS3, or original Xbox. Now, this would be a little bit dealer's choice as to if your person would actually be into this, but if there's someone like me who enjoyed those consoles back in their original run and likes kind of revisiting that nostalgia, which who doesn't like some nostalgia, especially us millennials, then any of those consoles can be found for very cheap on places like Facebook Marketplace, but you can get a lot of value out of them thanks to the soft mods by playing those consoles' entire libraries just off of a hard drive, as well as emulation and homebrew and other cool apps for them. So yeah, you could really surprise them with something like that. Now, when you're out at the stores, you might notice that the Switch OLED is super discounted, and that's likely because the Switch 2 is right around the corner. So it's up to you if that's a good bet. But thankfully, we do know that the Switch 2 will be backwards compatible, meaning that games that you might want to gift this Christmas season won't be obsolete in a few months. So great titles that have come out like Mario & Luigi Brotherhood, Legend of Zelda Echoes of Wisdom, Mario Party Jamboree, all great gifting options. For those who maybe aren't in the Switch category, but the handheld gaming like the Steam Deck or ROG Ally, or even just their laptop they like to dock on a TV, you'd be surprised how appreciated a good USB-C dock can be, like the BenQ B-Creatus GR10 I reviewed earlier in this channel, especially docks like that can do 4K at a high refresh rate for ideal gaming. Up next is the Carpio 2.0, which is just a great ergonomic accessory for those who do a lot of computer work or just approaching that age where we have to think about our wrist health because we work on computers all the time. I picked up the LTT edition a couple of months ago, and I've already gotten very used to it. It feels kind of weird to not use them anymore at my desk, and yeah, just a really nice peace of mind to have my wrists be at a horizontal plane consistently, and so I can work away the 8+ hours at my desk I do every day, and that way developing carpal tunnel can be one less concern on my mind these days. Finally, to wrap up this category, whether or not they're a fan of the Linus Tech Tips channel, the LTT screwdriver and precision screwdriver are just great screwdrivers for everyday use. Their big screwdriver has super great ratcheting and magnetic tips and everything, and the precision screwdriver set has, from what I hear, a delightful spinning top that is basically a fidget toy, and also extra long bits in the bit set so you can get into little crevices if the person you're buying for regularly is taking apart, phones and retro handhelds like me to modify them. Plus, if they're a fan of that channel, then they'll love repping some LTT merch either way. Over to our gift ideas under $200. First off is the 8-bit Do keyboard set, which, if you don't know, is just a sick looking keyboard with mechanical keys and a dial, and they have multiple kinds, one that looks like a Commodore 64, one that looks like an NES, and it just looks wonderful. And they even just announced a new Microsoft collaboration for an Xbox Edition keyboard, which has the style of Halo Edition original Xbox with matching mouse, and if they don't already have one, I think they'll be pretty pleased if they receive that. Also in this category, the 3DS and PS Vita, which although they are 10-year-old handhelds, are just ridiculously popular right now because the community at large has realized that they are super usable and kind of a fun throwback tech now, but you can still get a ton out of them because they had a lot of horsepower in them for their time. And as far as 3DSs go, you can take a look at my previous video where I break down all of the things you can do with it in 2024, 2025. But if you're short on time, the short story is you can soft mod them easily and get a lot out of them, so would recommend. Another one on this list is this AliExpress build-it-yourself eGPU kit, which is a really fun project for those who like DIY tech or who might have spare graphics cards lying around and devices that support Thunderbolt 3 or 4, and I actually had a lot of fun strapping this to my Surface Pro 8 to see how much I could turn it into a whole gaming rig, which I never ended up making into a video, but let me know if you wanted to see that. Another one on this list is retro Lego sets, which, as I've mentioned earlier, nostalgia is a big fueler for things that I buy for myself or people like me tend to enjoy, especially if they grew up in the 90s and owned even one beige tower computer, then they'll probably enjoy rebuilding that beige tower computer in Lego form, and you can find these kits for fairly reasonable prices on either AliExpress or Amazon too. Finally is the gift ideas for under $500, which is for those big ticket items, for those who have big budgets and want to just really wow the socks off of someone. And these items I'll go a little faster through because a lot of these items are probably pretty self-explanatory. First off is mini Windows PCs, which can be super versatile from just being a computer to being an emulation box that powers an arcade cabinet to turning them into a home theater PC to a web server. Super useful. Up next is the Bamboo 3D printer. I've been told this is a great starter 3D printer where it's pretty much just here's the design, print, there it goes. Basically like your Epson printer you have in your closet somewhere. Super cool. For handheld gaming, the ROG Ally for those who are experienced with Windows gaming, and the Steam Deck for those who are more console gamers who want to play Steam games more easily, or those who just don't want to deal with Windows all the time. Also, depending on the ecosystem they're in, an iPad or Android tablet can be a welcome gift, and if you're unsure which one to get, usually the one they carry at Costco is a pretty safe bet. For the coffee lovers out there, an espresso machine, I can affirm, is a delight. Enough said. For the budding photographers or videographers, Sony's starter camera, like the ZV-1, is a great entry-level camera that has a lot of nice features for vloggers and everything, but also is a nice choice because it gives you all the quality and polish of a Sony camera, but it kind of streamlines it to make it more approachable so you don't have to read the manual for 2 days to know how to take a decent video. And finally in that category, for those who are gamers or just interested in VR in general, the MetaQuest 3, particularly the 3S which just came out, is a really cool choice, as it'll give you a lot of the things people actually use in something like the Apple Vision Pro, while also giving you a free Arkham VR game that comes bundled with it and opens up a ton of cool possibilities, from just playing Beat Saber to apparently controlling your Windows desktop with the headset being a virtual monitor. I feel like I should buy one for myself just to do a list of all the crazy amount of things you can do with a MetaQuest, so let me know in the comments if you want to see that, I guess. Well, Winston and I hope this gift guide helps you find the perfect present for the nerds in your life, and if you have any other gift ideas, please share them in the comments below, and also don't forget to subscribe to help out the channel, and I'll see you guys in the next one.